Blobbing effects can be very interesting in your animations. There are a number of ways to create the blobbing effect. This one seems pretty straightforward. Let me walk you through it. I'll create a new comp. This is actually going to be a pre-comp, so I'll call it Blobbing Pre-Comp 2, 1920 by 1080, and it just needs to be like 3 seconds. I'll say OK. I want to make sure that this one goes in the pre-comps folder. First of all, you do need to have a white background. Command Y will bring up the solid settings, and let's make this a white background. Comp size, say OK. Now deselect the white background and select the Ellipse Tool. Once you have the Ellipse Tool selected in the tool panel, you can just double click on it, and that will create an ellipse that fills your screen. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Unlink the size properties, and let's make this like 300 by 300. I'm going to turn off the stroke, turn on the fill, and for this to work properly, you need to start out with it in black. I'm going to make it black, and then I'm going to duplicate it. First I'll name this one. It's a good idea to always name your layer, so I'll call this one, this will be the left circle. Duplicate it, Command D, rename this one, right circle, and let's take the left circle and move it to the left. Hold the Shift key so it doesn't move around, and keyframe the position. I'll take the right circle, move it to the right, and keyframe position. Then I'm going to move down, let's go down 20 frames, and I'll bring it in. I'm going to show my guides and bring this into the center, the right one into the center, and then the left one into the center so that they overlap a little bit. It's going to hold there for about 15 frames. So I'll copy these keyframes, paste them at the new location, and then I'll go out another 20 frames. I'm just doing this visually, but I think it's about there. And I'll copy and paste these first keyframes over here. So let's see how this plays. Okay, that's pretty good. I'll shorten my work area. To achieve the actual blobbing effect, we need to add an adjustment layer. So new, adjustment layer, and then in the adjustment layer we're going to add, under blur and sharpen, we're going to add Fastbox Blur, and in the effects controls, increase the blur radius to about 42. So that makes our circles very blurry, and then we have to bring them back to a more defined edge using exposure. So exposure is in the effects under color correction, and down a little past halfway down is exposure. We're going to increase the exposure to 2.45 and the offset -1. So that gives us pretty good definition. We can increase the definition even more by going to color correction levels and increasing the contrast for the levels. Now we've got a pretty good hard edge on those. Let's play it and see what happens. Okay, it's already looking pretty good. If we wanted to add color to this, we need to bring our pre-comp into another comp. So I'm going to click on my comps folder, make a new comp, and I'll call this Blobbing 2. Say OK, bring in my Blobbing comp 2, and then create a new solid. I'll make this one red. And I will put this below my blobbing comp, and then from the track matte menu I will choose Luma inverted matte, and now we've got this red against the black. We could add another white solid if you wanted it to be against a white background, or any color you want in this case. Maybe we go against a kind of a green. I'll put this on the bottom. Now, of course, you don't need to just stick with circles. You can use abstract forms. So I'm going to duplicate my left and right circle, Move them up in the stack so they're together. In Illustrator, I've used the curvature tool to create a couple of paths. So I'm going to copy this path, go back into After Effects, start at the beginning of my comp. I'll put this on the left circle. So turn the eyeball on, open up the contents. I've got some extra shapes in here I don't want. I'm going to add a path, open the word path, click on path, and then paste. Then I'm going to have to add a fill, and I'll come in here and change the fill color to black. And I'll just name this one left shape. And be sure you put a keyframe at the beginning for the path. Then I'll move over to 20 frames. In this case, I think I'll morph the shape into a different shape. Maybe I'll morph it into a circle. So I'll go back into Illustrator here. I've got a circle already created. So I'm going to copy that one, bring it back here, click on the word path, and press V for paste. So now it's morphing into a circle. So I'm going to make it morph into a circle and have it blob into the next shape. So I'll turn on my right circle. I'll rename this one right shape. Open up the contents, get rid of ellipse, add a path, open up path, click on the word path. I'm going to go to Illustrator and grab my other abstract shape. Come in here, make sure path is selected, paste it in, make a keyframe, add a fill. Change the fill to black. And as I move in, I'll have this one also morph into a circle. Why not? Back in here, click on the word path, press V. So now we've got both of these things morphing into circles. And I'm going to move the left shape over further, so it's more on top of the other one. Okay, so I've got this. At the end, I'm going to come in like this. I'm going to copy the circle keyframe right here, Command C, Command V, and also here, Command C, Command V. So they're both going to come in, morph into circles. They'll stay circles as they start to pull out, and then at the end of the animation, click on the word path, select the first keyframe, Command C, and then Command V in the new position for both of these. So it's going to come in, and then it'll go out. I also need to copy the position keyframe, Command C, Command V, Command C, Command V. All right, let's play this. And if we bring it into our main comp, it becomes the Luma mat for our red color. So this has all kinds of possibilities. Just get in there and try different shapes, different settings, and see what you can come up with. It can be a lot of fun.